Daf Yomi, Tractate Menachot, page 53a. Carrying the light of Purim into the year. And that's the reason for the hat, the sombrero. And this is my Purim costume this year. And let's continue. Top of Menachot 53a, the word Zos Toiras Mincha. Zos Toiras Mincha, Krevos, Oiso, Bnei Aaron, Bnei Hashem, El Pnei Amizbeach, and Oiseres Mimeno, Yochlu Aaron, Ubon Amazois Teochel, Omar Lei, Mitzvah Loi Ko Miboili, Ki Ko Miboili Reakev. And this is the law of the meal offering. The sons of Aaron shall sacrifice it before the Lord in front of the altar. And that which is left of it, Aaron and his sons shall eat. It shall be eaten as matzot. Leviticus chapter 6, verse 7 through 9. These verses demonstrate that there is a general requirement that meal offerings must be brought as matzah. Rabbi Preda said to Rabbi Ami, I do not raise the dilemma with regard to the source of the mitzvah ab initio, which means lechatchila, as that is clearly derived from these verses. Where I raise the dilemma, it is with regard to the source that indicates this requirement is indispensable, meaning that if one violated the mitzvah and brought a meal offering not as matzah, the offering is not valid. Amar lei le'akev nami ketiv lo tiaveh chometz el matzo. Rabbi Ami said to Rabbi Preda, with regard to the halacha, that the requirement that meal offerings must come as matzah is indispensable. It is also written, it shall be baked as leavened bread, Leviticus 6:10, but rather must come as matzah. This additional verse indicates that even after the fact, if a meal offering was not made as matzah, it is not valid. Maskif lo Rav Chizdo, ve'ema lo siaveh chometz ela siur. Oh, there's what that siur is. The take from yesterday. Rav Chizda objects to this, but one can say that the verse should be interpreted as follows. It shall not be baked as leavened bread, meaning fully leavened, but it can be brought even if it has been leavened slightly with leavening, siur, dough. Although it does not have the status of leavened bread and is therefore not prohibited by the verse, it also does not have the status of matzah. Siur diman I de Rabbi Meir le Rabbi Yehuda matzah me'al yehi I de Rabbi Yehuda le Rabbi Meir chometz me'al yehu. The Gemara analyzes Rav Chizda's objection, as there is a dispute among the sages with regard to the definition of siur, see Psachim 48b. According to Rabbi Meir, siur is dough at the beginning of the leavening process, when its surface has become pale. Conversely, Rabbi Yehuda maintains that siur is dough that has been leavened to the point that it has cracks, and cracks that look like the antennae of locusts. Interesting. In this light, the Gemara inquires, this siur mentioned by Rav Chizda in his suggested interpretation of the verse is in accordance with whose opinion? If he is referring to siur as defined by Rabbi Meir, then according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, Rav Chisda's objection does not arise. As Rabbi Yehuda maintains, this is full-fledged matzah. And if Rabbi Chisda is referring to siur as defined by Rabbi Yehuda, then according to the opinion of Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Chisda's objection does not arise either, as Rabbi Meir holds that it is full-fledged leavened bread. Full-fledged leavened bread. Maskiv lo Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok has a question. Lie. Back to the Talmud, the lyrical Talmud. Maskiv lo Rav Nachman bar Yitzchok ve'emer lo yiseon ve'chometz ela chalut. Chalut mainihu revicho ini gerucho ketiba revucho velo ketiba revucho. Ay. Rav Nachman Yitzchak also objects to Rabbi Ami's explanation, but one can say that the verse can be interpreted as follows. It shall not be baked as leavened bread, but one may bring a meal offering that has been boiled, as this is not leavened bread, although it is also not matzah. The Gemara asks, this boiled dough, what is it? It is poached, revicha, as described in the verse. In a pan it shall be made of oil. When it is soaked, murbechet. Leviticus 6:14. If so, there is no need to derive the halacha of boiled dough from the verse. It shall not be baked as leavened bread. If it is a meal offering, it must be poached. It is explicitly written with regard to it that it must be poached. And if it is a meal offering that is not to be poached, it is not written with regard to it that it is poached. Me'ema dichsiv revucho mitzvah berevucho udlo iksiv berevucho iboy revucho leisei iboy matzah leisei. The Gemara challenges, but one can say that the verse "It shall not be baked as leavened bread" indicates that with regard to a meal offering about which it is written explicitly that it must be poached, it is a mitzvah that it must be poached. And with regard to a meal offering about which it was not written that it must be poached, the one who brings the offering can decide. If he wants, let him bring it poached. If he wants, let him bring his matzah. Accordingly, Rabbi Ami's proof from the verse is inconclusive. Maskif lo Ravina ve'im lo yiseon ve'chometz le'mekim gavo b'la'amu yisolo. Ravina also objects to Rabbi Ami's explanation, but one can say that the verse "it shall not be baked as leavened bread" serves to determine that this man who brings a meal offering as leavened bread is liable for violating a mere prohibition. But the meal offering itself is not invalid. And be not alone. Ki titanya matzo yochel mitzvo. Talmud lo imau. Talmud lo imau. Mitzvah is 100. Hold on. Matzah is 135. Yeah. 141. Mitzvah. 141. Einod? No? 141 is Ein. Oh, I think so. Einod Milvado. That's 223. All these objections indicate that the verse "it shall not be baked as leavened bread" can be interpreted in ways that other than that suggested by Rav Ami. Accordingly, the Gemara asks, rather, from where do we derive that all meal offerings not brought as matzah are not valid? The Gemara answers, we derive it as it's taught in Brayta, discussing a verse concerning meal offerings. It shall be of matzah, Leviticus 2:5. One might have thought that it is only a mitzvah ab initio for a meal offering to be of matzah. Therefore, the verse states, "It shall be. It shall be." What do I see? It shall be, which indicates that the verse established it as an obligation, meaning if the meal offering was not brought as matzah, it is not valid. לכל המנוחס שני שלא ישויס בפולשין ומשמרון שלא יחמיצו נלמדנו בפסח דכסיב ושמרתם מסמצויס. Rav Freda raised another dilemma before Ami, from where to derive with regard to all the meal offerings that must be brought as matzah, that they are kneaded with lukewarm water, so that the dough will be baked well, as only a small amount of oil is added, and that one must watch over them to ensure that they do not become leavened while kneading and shaping them. Shall we derive this halakha from the prohibition concerning leavened bread on the festival of Passover, as it is written, "And you shall watch over the matzot," Exodus 12:17, which indicates that one must watch over any dough that is supposed to be made into matzah to ensure that it does not become leavened. Amalei begufe kesiv matzatiye hachaye. Rabbi Ami said to Rav Freda, the halacha of meal offerings is not derived from Passover, as is written in the context of a meal offering in itself. It shall be of matzah. Leviticus 2:5, which can be read as meaning preserve matzah, meaning preserve the matzah as it is, and do not let it become leavened. Ha'pekte liakev imkein lichtov kol matzahi. Mai tie shamat minatalti. The Gemara asks, but didn't you already derive from the term "it shall be" that the requirement that a meal offering must be made as matzah is indispensable? The Gemara answers, if so, that this term serves to teach only one halacha, that the verse write it is matzah. What is the reason that it writes "it shall be of matzah"? Learn from it two conclusions. Both that the requirement that it be made as matzah is indispensable, and that one must watch over the matzah to ensure that it does not become leavened. Amri le Rabbanan Rav Freda, Rabbi Ezro, Baberedi Rabbi Avtolus. Rabbi Ezra bar Bered Rab Avtolus Avtolas Du Asiri Rabbi Loza ben Zayo Du Asiri Lezra Koabovo Omar Mai Kulehai. The Gemara relates an incident that involves the aforementioned Rav Freda. The sages said to Rav Freda, the sage Rabbi Ezra, who is especially fine lineage, grandson of Rabbi Avtolus, who in turn is a 10th generation descendant of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who is a 10th generation descendant of Ezra the scribe, is standing and waiting at the gate of the house and seeks entry. Rabbi Preda said to the sages, what is the need for all this detail about Rabbi Ezra's lineage? Ibar Orayon hu Yoi. Ibar Orayon ubar Avahon Yoi. Ibar Avuhon v'lo Orayon Isho Techele. Amrule bar Orayon hu. Amar lehu leyol v'leite. Rabbi Preda elaborated. If he is a man of Torah study, he is worthy of entry on his own account, regardless of his ancestors. And if he is both a man of Torah study and a man of lineage, he is also worthy of entry. But if he is a man of lineage and not a man of Torah, better for fire to devour him than for him to enter my house. It's true. We see that Moshe Rabbeinu's sons, I think, were less than up to par. Let's put it that way, according to Tanakh, from what I remember. Maybe his grandsons, something like that. Something in Moshe Rabbeinu's lineage was not so great from his downline. In this case, his lineage is to his detriment, as it highlights his failure to become a sage like his ancestors. The sages said to Rabbi Preda, Rabbi Ezra is a man of Torah study. Rabbi Preda said to them, if so, let him enter and come. כנסת ישראל לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא ריבונו של עולם החזק לי טובה שיודעתיך בעולם. Rabbi Ezra entered his house, and Rabbi Preda saw that Rabbi Ezra's mind was troubled with embarrassment and having to wait outside. Therefore, Rabbi Preda taught a homily to comfort Rabbi Ezra. He began and said, interpretation of the verse, I have said to the Lord, you are my Lord. I have no good but in you. Tovati baralecha. Psalms 16 verse 2. Rabbi Preda interpreted, the congregation of Israel said before the Holy One, blessed be Master of the universe, give me this credit, give me credit. As I made your name known in the world, as I indicated by the phrase, you are my Lord. Amar lei, tova si baralecha, eini machzik tova. Ela le'Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, shehoidiuni techile ba'olam, shene'emar, kadoshim asher ba'oretz, heimo v'adirei kol chefsi bom. God said to the congregation of Israel, I gave no credit to you. Tovati balalecha. God explained, I give credit only to the three patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who were the first who made my name known in the world, as it is stated. As for the holy that are in the earth, they are the excellent in whom is all my delight. Psalms 16 verse 3. The holy in the earth are the patriarchs in whom God delights. In this manner, Rabbi Preda alluded to the importance of the ancestors of the Jewish people, including Ezra the scribe, from whom Rabbi Ezra was descended. Okay, we made it, just about. Kevon nishamei kama adir pasach liyama yavoy adir yipol adirim yadirim yadirim. When Rabbi Ezra heard that Rabbi Preda said the word excellent, adir, he too began a homily, one that plays with different forms of this term, and said, let the adir come and exact punishment for the adirim, from the adirim, in the adirim. Wow, this is 4 uses of the word adirim. Let's hear. I must admit, my interest is definitely perked up right now. Yavo yadir ze HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Dichsiv adir mamor em Hashem. Vipor al adirim elu Yisroel. Shneimar adirei kol chefzi bom. מאדירים אלו המצרים. תכסיב, צוללו כוי פרס במים אדירים. באדירים אלו מים. שנאמר מקוילוס מים רבים אדירים משפרי יום. Rabbi Ezra explained this statement. With regard to Adir in the phrase, let Adir, with regard to Adir in the phrase, let Adir come, this is the Holy One, blessed be He, as is written, the Lord on high is mighty. Adir Bamarom Hashem. Adir Bamarom Hashem. Avi. Adir Bamarom Hashem. Avi. Psalms 93, verse 4. In the phrase, an exact punishment for the Adirim. These Adirim are the Jews. These Adirim are the Jews, as it is stated, the excellent, in whom is almighty light. Psalms 16, verse 3. V'adirei kol chefetzi bam. In the phrase from Adirim, these Adirim are the Egyptians. As it is written with regards to the splitting of the Red Sea, the mighty Adirim sank as lead in the waters. Exodus 15:10. Salelu kauferet b'mayim Adirim. In the phrase, in the Adirim, these Adirim are the waters that is stated above the voices of many waters, the mighty breakers of the sea. Psalms 93, verse 4. Mikoilois, Maim, Rabim, Adirim, Mishperei Yam. Yavo Yedid ben Yedid, Yivred Yedid, Yedid Bechelko Yedid, Yiskapru bo Yedidim. Yiskaperu bo Yedidim. Rabbi Ezra stated another similar homiletic interpretation. Let Yedid, the son of Yedid, come and build Yedid for Yedid in the portion of Yedid, and let Yedidim achieve atonement through it. I see where this is going, without even him explaining it. Yavo Yedid, Zishloim HaMelech, Tichsiv Yishlach Biad Nosan Anovi, Vayikosh Mo Yedidio Ba'avu Hashem. Rabbi Ezra explained this statement. With regard to Yedid in the phrase Yedid, this is King Solomon, as it is written. After Solomon's birth, and he sent by the hand of Nathan the prophet, and he called his name Yedidiah, for the sake of the Lord. 2 Samuel 12:25. Okay, we'll stop here and continue on with Daf 53b.